Hello, everybody. All of you out there that are thinking about eating a raw food diet or are eating a raw food diet. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, near a place called Coney Island, which wasn't too far from the beach. But when I used to go to the beach when I was growing up there, I really wasn't interested in health as a teenager. I was interested in playing sports, maybe getting a nice tan, but I wasn't interested in the health benefits of going to the beach, certainly. But I should have been. And I should have had in mind more of the tropical uh, environment idea of how natural it is to live near a beach and just the whole idea of a tropical environment and what you can do out there. So as a raw foodist, I grew up in New York City or Brooklyn, New York, and I was able to eat a raw food diet, even though the weather outside was cold in the wintertime, extremely hot in the summertime. I couldn't grow food there because I didn't have a place to grow food. I was still able to maintain a 100% raw food diet for 12 years or so in New York. And, uh, is that the ideal thing to do? Well, you got to remember, even though it's cold outside, in your apartment or your house, it's a tropical environment that you created. Now, it's a temporary tropical environment because it's not a place where it's naturally cold. I mean, you walk outside your temperature heated house, and then you in the freezing weather. It's certainly not good to go to the park in the middle of winter and eat a watermelon or even bananas. It's not the natural, ideal way to do it. And anytime you take something or try to mimic its natural environment, it's not going to be as well as being a natural environment. But you got to do the best you can do while you're there. So when I was in New York in the winter time, I would heat it up really cold to make sure it was as hot as possible. Now I live in a tropical environment, and it's easier to do because I'm able to grow my food, the tropical foods that my body desires, in its real environment. When you go into a fish store, you see all these fish swimming around with this fake background around them, and the temperature of the water is kept at a certain level. That's all a mimic of the natural environment. The fish will survive in that unnatural environment, but they're going to thrive in their natural environment as possible. So I want to encourage you, if you're a young person watching this, or even an older person watching this, and you have in your mind that you want to eat healthy or live a more natural lifestyle, being in a tropical environment or a temperate environment helps. It doesn't mean it's necessary, but it helps the situation. It definitely makes it easier. So if you can devise a plan where you can get into an environment where they don't have extreme winters, that's going to help. I'm in this place. I don't know if you have a rooster in the background. I don't have roosters. I don't eat roosters. I don't want anything to do with roosters or chickens. But a lot of people around me, they're growing chickens and roosters and just trying to make it as natural or eat as fresh as possible. They're just trying to save money, but at least they're trying to eat, as we could say, as close to nature as possible. So I'm not rubbing it in that I'm down here, everybody. I'm here in South Florida now. I'm just giving you an idea of what you could do out here. So right now, it's a summertime and there's a lot of fruit in season. In the wintertime, a lot of fruit are not in season, but we got to do the best we can do with what we got. So in the wintertime, I might find myself going to the farmers markets or the stores a little bit more. But for the summertime, I have pretty much an abundance of food that I need. And I'm even growing some watermelon now. But this is my mango tree. And I don't just have one mango tree. I have many mango trees. Now, you might think, well, that's great. You can grow mangoes. You're a raw foodist. You can grow mangoes down there in Florida. So why are you telling us this here up north or if we don't live in Florida? Well, why I'm telling you this is not only do I now ship these and willing to ship these types of fruits to you, but there are some friends of mine that have farms down here who I have found, and they make a living by shipping fresh fruit off the tree to people up north. Now, let's be honest. A big reason a lot of people are up north, a big reason people are in colder environments is because they have a good job and they don't want to leave their job, or they can't leave their job. They think they can't leave their job to come move down to a more tropical environment. And with that big city environment and that New York environment, not all the time, but often comes where you're making more money. So you might be able to spend a little bit extra on your food to get this fresh food, even though you're not growing it. For me, it takes a lot of time. People think it's just, oh, you just stand in front of a tree, plant it, and watch it grow. But to make this tree fruit as much as possible and be as efficient as possible, I put a good amount of time into it. That time, somebody who doesn't have a backyard, somebody who doesn't have to do gardening work, somebody who has time to spend more time in an office or something else, well, they might, I'm not saying you all do, have more money to buy something like this, because I know some of you still struggle with your bills and so on, even up north. Well, these are pretty expensive mangoes. They're not like the cheap mangoes you get in the stores up there. When I buy my food from the store, no matter wherever I am, one thing I do now is, except with an exception for durian fruit, I try not to buy fruit from other countries. It's imported, definitely not picked ripe, and so on. I try to find things that are picked as local as possible, and that's what I get when I know I'm buying fruit from my friends that sell fruit in the farms here in Florida. I always look at where the fruit came from. The closer it is, the closest state that it was grown to where I am, chances are the fresher it'll be and the better it'll be. So keep that in mind. So I'll put a link below to a couple of my friends that sell avocados, mangoes, and mamey, and a bunch of other tropical fruit. So you can check them out. And again, if it's too much money, remember, you don't have to spend a lot of money to be on a raw food diet. Bananas are cheaper than steak, folks. Okay? Spinach is cheaper than all the other meat and chicken and everything else people are buying. You don't need to be spending a lot of money to eat this way. If you choose to, going to go to raw food restaurants, that's your choice. But you don't have to. So I want you to keep that in mind. Whatever you decide to do, folks, my encouragement is not to talk you into or convince you to eat a raw food diet or vegan diet. I just want you to eat more fruits and vegetables, eat as natural as possible, and if you have a disease, feel better. There are a lot of people out there that are looking to do well, and they have their goals. My goal is, I suffered from a disease, inflammatory bowel disease, also known as ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, when I was 19 years old. And I got better by following this natural lifestyle that I'm talking about. And if you want to label it a raw food diet, fine, so be it. But by living a more natural lifestyle, I got better. And that's what I want to help people do. I want them to know the choice they have. I want to know the options you have. Now, if you're not sick, haven't been diagnosed with anything, but you just still want to feel better, have more energy, sleep less, lose weight, this is going to work for you. If you're completely satisfied with what you're doing, you're happy with the amount of energy you have, you don't need coffee or drug to stay awake, and you're getting all the sleep you need, you don't need to lose weight, so be it. But most people know they can do better, and this is a better way to do it. So it's your choice, folks. But my goal and passion is to help people help themselves to realize they do have choices and they can make this happen. I'm not into excuses. I'm into results, and I'm here to help you. If you're looking for that, please watch my videos. Thank you. I've been doing this now for almost 30 years. I've been eating a raw vegan diet, and even a couple of years prior to that when I was learning about it and just trying to get better from my illness and disease. I know what it is to live like with an illness. I know how addicting it is. I know how hard it is to break away from the doctors and their advice. People in my life, they some of them listen and some of them don't. Some of them are sick and some of them are better. The great thing is it's your choice, not mine, not somebody else's. I'm just here providing the information. So I pray that you would do something or take some of this seriously. If you have comments or questions, post them below. I do coaching if you're interested in that as well. But whatever you decide to do, have a great, enjoying time doing it. Don't do anything that doesn't give you joy. All right? Until then, everybody, have a great day and a great raw life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.